Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to look at, you can put strokes. In other words, add color to the individual lines, the vertical and the horizontal lines. And we can also put color in the cell or the squares themselves. Again, I can highlight. So if I highlight this first row, for instance, and I'll go up into swatches and I'll add some, make sure my fill is selected over here, and I'll add some color. So there you see I've added yellow to this first row. Okay. Now let's take a look at adding some information to the stroke, the lines. And you can do it horizontal and vertical, or one or the other. Sometimes you'll see a slick looking, and here again you see we've got a situation where we needed to highlight this, and now we can go back up under the table again, and here is where strokes and fills. Okay, cell options. So let's go right here, and here, right here in strokes and fills is where I can choose to add color to the lines or the grid. And in my case, for stylistic purposes, I want to add color and thickness to the horizontal lines, but not to the vertical lines. Not to the vertical lines. So what I'm going to do is you have to deselect the ones you don't want to add color to. So in my case, I'm going to click right here on this vertical line, deselecting it, deselecting this, and deselecting this. And they turn gray if you can't see it. The horizontal lines are still blue. And once again, I'm going to pick a color here. And let's just make it very vibrant so we can really see it. And I'm going to make it really thick so that you can see it very easily. And so in my case, I'm going to do 5 points. Okay? And then I say OK. And then I deselect it. And here you can see that I now, watch, hide frame edges, view, hide frame edges, and you can see that now what I have is color in the horizontal lines, but not in the vertical lines. Okay? So then we can also add text to each of the cells. And we're going to talk about this in class, whether you want to add the numbers, the days of the week and the month here in the table, or whether you want to simply use your tabs and put the numbers in separately on top of the grid. But for purposes of understanding the tables, let's go ahead and do it for the moment in the table itself. So once again, I go to the, put this back over here, I go to my type tool and I click it in place. And I'm going to do 1, hit my tab key, 2, tab 3, tab 4, tab 5, tab 6, and tab 7. And of course, I would then hit my return and continue putting in the numbers. Now, clearly, you can see they're small. They're down at the bottom here. Okay? So, let's look at what we want to do. Now, you have to be careful. Highlighting the cell is different and separate from just highlighting the number. In this case, the number. So, the first thing I probably want to do, let's make it a little bit bigger, just so that we can see it. Okay. And again, I'm just trying to make it really obvious. So there's my number, but it's down at the bottom, and I want it at the top. I want it at the top here. So once again, I'll go up here to table, and we'll do table options, and we'll go to pull this up, and we'll go to text. And here, to me, is the easiest way. We can use these little table palettes from over here, or from under window. But this is really nice because it's just really obvious. Here's my text, and I want it I'm going to say I want it 0.25 down from the top, okay? And I want it close to the left. So there you go. You see it popped up there. And I'm going to put 0.25 here as well. And you see the preview. And so I can say OK. Okay. And there you see the type. So, you'd have to go in here and you'd have to do them. And let's just see. If we did this all at once, would we be able to do this? Or am I going to have to do this separately? Let's see. Okay. You see, this is highlighted the cells, but not the text. And so you can see right here that you'd have to do it individually as you set it up. Okay. So at any rate, here is how you can do that part of it, and it's a pretty nifty little deal here. And whether you try to automate it, you can highlight the individual cells. You can highlight the individual, you see, moving things over manually. But I would suggest that you use the tools that the dialog boxes, so that everything is consistent throughout the table. And let's stop there, and we're going to pick up some more information concerning the tables in our next video.